Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Some of you are just waking up. Some of you are staying up before you go to sleep or before you run off to work or school. I'm watching the chat here as I'm setting up all your lessons, and it looks like we have a lot of different time zones present. Sorry, I started the music again. We have a lot of other time zones present here in class as usual. So it's good to have everybody here. We are going to go over our first reading class, academic reading class, one of two. We finished up our last academic writing class last week, one of two, or two of two. And those two are interconnected. So really we're doing 4 classes over the last couple weeks that go over reading and writing strategies in academics. Now, if you're first tuning in, if this is your first Smart Live class, welcome, first of all. And we do have a first-time student today, Marin. Marin is here. Where are you from, Marin? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Everybody say hi to Marin. We have a lot of other people that have been here before. Nesreen, we have Sarbajit, we have Paluxio, Fatis, Rosa is here. Rosa's always here. And Rosa, you are so welcome for your corrections. It was wonderful writing. Rosa's one of our premium subscribers, and she submitted some amazing homework. Sarbajit, your homework was amazing too. You guys are great writers. And Sarbajit, I know you had finals at your school, your main school that you go to. I hope those went well for you. You're a very smart student, so I'm sure you did fine. Sway is here as well. French Leo, I want to say hi to everybody, but there's usually so many people here. Deary's here. Hi. Good morning. Or good afternoon, or good night, wherever you are. How was your day? Good to have Santosh. Hi. Just a reminder to everybody, let's keep the chat only in English. I know we speak many, many languages, which are all beautiful, but this is an English class, so we're going to keep the chat in English. And Paluxio says reading is great. Yeah, reading is great. The way I connected those two ideas last week and the week before and the week before that was we should always think of reading and writing as interconnected in the way that speaking and listening is interconnected. Communication, right? Even sign language, if you're deaf and you cannot hear, in sign language it's visual speaking, right? But you have to be watching that person. You have to be visually listening, so to speak. So think about that. When you write something, all those skills we practiced the last classes, when you write something, remember as you're writing it that someone else is going to read it. That's an important thing to remember that I think a lot of students forget. They're writing it and they're reading it themselves and they're trying to make it perfect, but it's a simple and easy thing to forget that someone is going to actually take your writing. If it's a piece of paper, they'll hold it maybe. If it's on the screen, they'll just look at it, but they're going to read it. They're going to read your words. And so you want to make sure that your words are chosen carefully and that you convey the meaning that you intend. You give the meaning that you want to give is a simple way to put that. So, Sway says, I just froze on your screen. I hope it's a really dorky face, or something. That would be great. Whenever I'm Skyping with friends or talking with students and the screen freezes, that's the way it is. It's always like some silly, goofy face. Anyway, I've embarrassed myself enough for this morning. Let's jump into the lesson. Let's go over some reading strategies, and then let's look at some examples of academic reading. So how we're going to do that is we're going to go into our wonderful smart home screen here. Let me bring it up in the background. Bam, right up here. So this is all of our, where all of our schools are that teach Smart English. So all over the world, isn't that awesome? I don't know if I've ever showed this map before, but, and we are here in beautiful Spokane, Washington, next to Coeur d'Alene, right there. That's where we are. And it looks a little bit like this. I'm actually in a building just on the other side of the river there. And here is where I'm at. So this is our campus here in beautiful Spokane, Washington. So just so you guys get an idea of where I am. Oh, here's my Facebook page too. If you guys want to be Facebook friends with me, go ahead and add me. I will accept you as a friend and be grateful for it. You can find out fun little things about Spokane and fun little things about me or English. I'll chat English sometimes on my own page, or you can also join, if you haven't already, Learn English on Facebook with Smrt page. Now this is an awesome page where thousands and thousands of people talk about English topics. It's great. Check it out. So those are, I'll add a couple people right there. Those are fun ways to practice your English. So here is the landing page for Smrt. I'm going to log in and just take attendance for our premium subscribers. Thank you as always for being here. Looks like everybody's logged in. Most people are logged in. And then we're going to go to our library and go to our English 140 class. So this English 140 class is English for academic purposes. And the idea of this class is for our new student and new students, if there's more than one today, the idea of our academic English for academic purpose class is many of you want to go to university. Many of you are in university and your teachers are asking you to do things like write an essay in English or read a paper in English, to think in English, to dream in English. English is this universal language that we all want to make perfect for communication. There's other reasons you might take this class too. You might take this class because you want to perfect your English for business purposes. Smrt English has English for business administration, English for air traffic control, English for computing and information systems, English for automotive. We have English for all these reasons, English for health sciences, which is a great class. And our idea is we're using English for academic purposes, but it can transition into business English. You will need to have good presentation skills at a business meeting, for example. We teach that in this English for academic purposes class. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell them all to come to this class and be a student, interact with us here. But we're going to get started today on reading. So I'm actually using a few notes from some of our other Smrt classes. I'm using notes from our English for test preparation, TOEFL test. This is a great class as well. And we're going to talk about some of the reading strategies, because reading strategies in tests for test taking can also be used and are also used and applied in academic reading. So here are reading question strategies, and I'll talk about these strategies and then I'll talk about how they apply to English for academic purposes. So you can use these ideas, concepts in TOEFL test prep, in IELTS test prep, in any test in English really. And you can also use these skills for consideration as you go into any class that uses English. Maybe it's a science class, maybe it's a math class, maybe it's a history class that's in English, your teacher teaches you in English, or maybe it's a writing class and you need to write essays in English, and to do that you need to research and read in English. So we'll talk about these. Yes, Sarbaji, level 140. Okay. Yeah, the numbers are the levels of English. So with our system, with Smrt English, I'll show you really quick how the levels go. The beginner level, so ABC English, is English 100. So this would be English 100 for adults. And this focuses on basic skills. I'll give you a little preview here. So at the alphabet, you learn the alphabet. You hear the sounds that the letters make. And then as you go forward, English 110 is like a level 2. English 115 is level 3. English 125 is the fourth of this series. And so here you're learning auxiliary verbs, be, do, and have. You're refreshing. You learn that in level 2 as well, 2 and 3. But you're building on that. So you're learning auxiliaries for prediction. You're learning quantifiers, some, any, no, many, few, all, when to use them. So it's really cool. It builds and builds and builds your skill sets until you are a perfect English speaker, ready for university. It's really cool. So yes, to answer your question, those are the levels. Going forward, here are those reading strategies I was talking about. All right. Better speaking, more concise. Good vocabulary word there, French Leo. Concise is a good vocab word. And Sway had to go feed his puppy, or her puppy. Sway? Julian. So I'm going to guess you're a gentleman, had to go feed his puppy. All right, so strategies here. We read and become familiar with directions. Now this says directions because it's for test prep, but read and become familiar with the prompt or the title of the essay that you're reading or the title of the presentation. So when you're in academics, when you're learning, so we're going to use the university model, the university concept, your professors, your teachers are going to give you assigned reading and assigned videos and film and presentations. They're going to ask you to go listen to a lecture at the university, something like that. And you're going to need to take notes. You're going to need to absorb that information. So read and become familiar with the directions applies more to any type of academic situation than just test taking. So you can take that idea of step 1, understand the main concept. What are you going to listen to? What are you going to read? Do you understand the main direction, the main points? So are you listening in class? Are you paying attention to what your teacher is asking you to do? I'll give you an example. Many of my students, and I forgot to open a note page today, so let me just open a quick Google document here so we can take notes together. I'm going to make the text a little bigger for you. So here are our notes. Many of my beginning students I will give this prompt to, and I'm going to paste this in the chat, and I want you to quickly answer this question just in a sentence, okay? It's not really a question, it's a prompt. It's a writing prompt, but it is tell me about the restaurant you ate your favorite food in. And if I want to make this a more advanced question for a higher level class, tell me about the restaurant in which you ate your favorite food. So right now, in this academic writing class, I want you guys to write about this prompt. I would like you to respond to me here, and I'm going to paste your responses in the chat, in this document, so that we can all kind of look at the different ideas. I'm not going to put anybody's names on them, just write your immediate answer, one sentence, in response to this prompt, okay? So I'm going to give you just a minute to do that, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I am back. Here is a list of the responses that you guys put in the chat that everybody can kind of look at. Now, this is just a outskirt canal view. Navat says, let me see here. All right. So I want to try to get all these. Here's the name. Okay. And then I posted some other questions you guys came up with that I will try to answer. But here's the first part. So our prompt is, tell me about the restaurant in which you ate your favorite food. Now, for my very, very beginning students, first of all, we have to talk about the question. We have to talk about what is a restaurant? What is this word? Why does it not eat? Because it's past tense, right, in this part of the sentence. So, tell me about the restaurant in which you ate your favorite food. So a lot of students will begin and they will start telling me about their favorite food. They'll say, my favorite food is sushi. It's so good because it's healthy and I love the taste and blah, blah, blah. Or they'll say, I love tacos, or I love chicken, or I love rice, I love curry. All of these different types of food. Kapsa, I'm getting hungry. So that's not the prompt, right? The prompt is, tell me about the restaurant in which you ate your favorite food. So correct answers are, if I'm answering the prompt carefully, correct answers are, it's big, it's red, it's outside the city, inside they have many decorations. We're talking about the restaurant, right? That is the main subject that we are addressing here. The favorite food is just a defining clause that tells us which restaurant we're talking about, right? Tell me about the restaurant in which you ate your favorite food. Now, you could eat your favorite food in a lot of restaurants, and you can really dissect this concept, this prompt, and talk about it in great detail. But this is lesson 1 for academic reading. Make sure you understand the prompt. What is being asked of you? Even very, very good students are eager to answer and eager to learn and eager to participate, and so they'll rush right in without slowing down just a little bit to think about it. You guys have great answers here, though. So I ate my favorite food in PC, Lahore. They serve northern Indian food. Okay, the restaurant serves. So we're learning the name of the restaurant, we're learning what they serve. I still didn't learn a whole bunch about the restaurant, but that's still good. My restaurant is called Burger King. Okay, this is good. You're naming the restaurant, right? KFC. Wow, you guys need to eat more healthy food. Burger King, KFC. Eat some healthy food someday, right? I'm kidding. I've eaten at all those restaurants too. I try to eat more healthy now, but I have a delicious meal in a corner Japanese restaurant. There we go. Look at that. Corner Japanese restaurant. What kind of restaurant is it? It's a Japanese restaurant. Where is it located? It's located on the corner of a block where they have this crazy teppanyaki aiki cooking style. I'm not sure how to pronounce that word, but telling me about how they cook in the restaurant. The meat is juicy, the vegetables are well cooked. Then we start talking about the food. Okay, yes, that's part of it, but we want to talk about the restaurant. Here we have the outskirts, and we'd say outskirts. Say on the outskirts. It was on the outskirts of my city, and it's named Canal View. Okay, that's good. So where it's located, we're talking about the restaurant. A Mexican restaurant, the type of restaurant. IHOP, the name of the restaurant. The restaurant serves northern Indian food. So what happens in the restaurant? All the waiters there dress in traditional Indian clothes. That's good. That's telling me about this restaurant, about the experience. I ate my favorite biryani in the restaurant named Pearl Continental. So all of you answered well. You all answered with what is the name of the restaurant, where is it located, what does it feel like inside. There's a few different ways to answer this prompt. The prompt is tell me about the restaurant. I could go into detail about the physical appearance. I could say the color, the location, where it is, what is near it. I could also talk about the experiential feeling there. I could talk about, what kind of decorations are on the walls, what kind of music do they play, what do the waiters act and dress like, So the serving staff, the decorations inside, the location in the city, all of these are different and correct ways to talk about the restaurant. If you start going into detail about the food, you're going off topic. So you don't want to say, it's a big restaurant and they serve Indian food. I love Indian food because it's spicy and because it has this delicious flavor and blah, 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 blah. Because then you're only talking about the food, which is fine in another essay or another answer to a different prompt. But this prompt specifically asks about the restaurant. It just so happens to be the restaurant where you ate your favorite food. So I think this is a very good example and a very good way to make us think about thinking. It helps us think about how to address a prompt, how to respond to a prompt. So this will help you in tests. This will help you answer essay questions or prompts, respond to prompts. Think about thinking. Slow down and make sure you understand what is being stated or what is being asked. So that's lesson 1 for academic reading. Second prompt or readings question strategy, and we're talking about the questions here as one example, but it applies to the essay. Do not spend a long time reading the passages. So the truth is, in academic reading, and at this point I'm going to bring up an example of academic reading. This will be homework for our premium subscribers, but we're going to read about sleep cycles. Here's a small reading on sleep cycles, and this is actually a very interesting reading. It's not very long, but for English learners, sometimes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pretty big paragraphs with a lot of new words can feel huge. It can feel really, really big. Well, the truth is your professors in college are going to ask you to read books and books and books. And the truth is, unless you're a very quick reader and efficient reader, you might not have time to read every single word on every single page. Now, I'm not saying that that isn't what you should try to do. You should try to read everything. But if you don't have enough time before a test and you cannot read every single book that the test is over, you need to think of strategies. If you're taking a reading comprehension test, the goal is not to necessarily be able to read and process all the information. It is to be able to locate and learn needed information, the correct information you need. So given the opportunity, read the questions first, and then skim and read the prompts, read the topic sentences, read the titles to find and locate your information effectively. There's more information in the world than you will ever be able to process, ever be able to consume. And that can feel a little bit daunting and depressing. But if you think about it in that you will never run out of good reading and good material and good information in the world, that can be really enlightening. So one strategy is to learn to find your needed information and verify that it's accurate and correct, and go with that. So French people don't care about the place where the food is served. Nonetheless, you're right. So back to, I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody's questions. Learning about reading is, we already read stuff. Sarbajit. Josh, what's there to learn about reading? We already read stuff, right? So Sarbajit, you're right. You can read. You have the ability to read. As you go into university, you're going to have more reading than you can do, more reading than you can accomplish in a short period of time. So these are strategies to read efficiently. That's the idea. Okay. If I missed your question at all, go ahead and repeat it in the chat. I'll try to watch them. Why do multiple choice questions in reading exams, why are they more complicated than what's written in the article? I understand changing a few words here and there, but I lose the concept itself sometimes. So that will becoming better at that is There's a lot of different ways to do that. One is to build up your vocabulary, grow your vocabulary. That will help. Practice paraphrasing things yourself, and understanding that, yes, the words will be moved around. They will, whomever creates the exams will intentionally try to put similar concepts as option choices, but one is more correct. So by making yourselves more efficient readers, us making ourselves more efficient readers, we can tackle questions like that more efficiently. It depends on level. True-false questions can be complicated also. Yeah. Oh, yes, the questions in the notes. Thank you, Sway, of course. So we had other questions in the notes that I was going to get to. Can we read the question before reading the test to avoid wasting time on reading? I like this question. It is pertaining to tests, but in academic reading, there will be tests, so I think this applies. Yes, you can, well, it depends on the rules of the test. Every test is different, but many tests, I would say more than half of the tests you're going to take, you will be allowed to read the questions before you read any reading prompt or assignment or essay or whatever it is. So you will know the questions, or you will have access to the questions. At the same time, you'll have access to the reading material. My advice is always read the questions first. Read the questions first and be sure you understand them. That way you can locate, you can search for the information. So yes, read the questions first, save time. It's good advice. Another question, not really related, but I can answer it really quickly. Why do some Americans have different spellings in their name? Jolie. What's the difference? Because my girlfriend spells her name Jolie. In English, American English, we don't have this character. I'm going to zoom in for you. We don't use this. This is called an umlaut, I believe. And it's something that we don't have on our keyboards. We don't use it except in some, business names, or some Americans will use it to be cool. So we just spell it with the American alphabet. So that's the quick answer to that question. Also, individualism is pretty big in America and North American culture. We want to be unique individuals, so we'll spell our names differently. I love my name, Joshua, but I've met 1,000 other Joshuas in my lifetime. So nowadays, some parents will name their child a relatively common name like Josh, but they'll spell it differently. Or the name Amy is spelled many different ways. My favorite way is AMY, but you can spell it 100 different ways. So, okay, now you can understand your girlfriend's name, Sway. And I thought it was very sweet that you said you go to IHOP and have breakfast with your girlfriend every day. It's very sweet of you. Sounds like you guys have a very happy relationship. Congratulations. So back to class. So this is the reading we'll look at later. Let's go back to our strategies. So first strategy is understand what your assignment is. Second strategy is do not spend a long time reading the passages. Another way to say that would be understand how to locate information effectively, quickly and effectively. Do not be concerned if a topic seems unfamiliar. This is huge. This is really important. Do not be concerned if a topic seems unfamiliar. Don't let that scare you. If you are taking a test, if you are reading a new book, and you feel like you don't know anything about it, instead of feeling nervous or apprehensive, feel excited, because it's awesome. If you don't know about the topic, you will learn. There was a time when Albert Einstein did not know how to read. There's a time when Albert Einstein couldn't walk. Hopefully you all know who Albert Einstein is. He did the whole E equals MC squared thing. He had to learn every single thing he learned in his life before he could create such elaborate theories of physics, or in physics. So remember that. And I'm going to write our advice down, our notes here, right at the top, I guess. So 1, we want to understand the assignment. Understand the assignment or the topic. 2, if I'm going back here, 2, we want to understand how to locate, how to read quickly and efficiently. 3, don't be afraid of new topics, okay? It's a simple way to put that, but it's true. Don't be afraid of new topics. If the topic is unfamiliar, some of it will be familiar. You will recognize some words and you will be able to understand the topic better and better the more you read. So don't be afraid of new topics. We all don't know lots of things, but we learn slowly. That's how learning works. It doesn't happen like that. It's a process, right? So do not be concerned if a topic seems unfamiliar. Don't be afraid of new topics. Do not worry about new topics. You will learn them with everybody else. Everybody learns that same way. So that's important to remember. Okay. Jolie is here. Hi, Jolie. Glad to have you. Okay. Rosa says, my dissertation topic, Spanglish, fun topic, I found boring at the beginning, but after reading and research, I find it really interesting. That's another thing. If the topic seems unfamiliar or boring, don't be afraid of new topics or topics that you perceive, you think will be boring, because maybe they're not. You just have to learn more. You have to give it time. Pace yourself over all of the questions. So I'm going to say this in a different way as well. I'm going to say, understand time constraints. Time constraints. What does this word constraints mean? Limitations. Understand time constraints or limitations. So in a test, it's obvious, right? In a test, your time limitations are the duration of the test. In life, time constraints are a little different. As you're going to learn in our assigned reading, sleep cycles, sleep is a time constraint. We need sleep to survive as human beings. Science doesn't exactly know why, but we do. We know that we do. So, because sleep is something that is necessary, we're limited by that. Making meals, using the bathroom, other classes, if you're in academics, your job. I know somebody said they were going to work right after class. I think Sway was going to work right after class. But Sway is spending time here with us to learn. So Sway understands time constraints because he's choosing to use the time right now to learn and grow and become a better reader before going to work. But that is limiting, right? Some of you will be able to start the reading homework right after class. Sway will have to budget his time and choose when to do the reading later on. So time constraints, understand those. That is important. And then guess if you run out of time. So this is a good test strategy, guess, but I'm going to rephrase this as more holistic advice for all of your reading. Don't be afraid to guess. Okay? Don't be afraid to guess. Don't be afraid to take a chance as you read. If you don't understand the word, make a guess. Try to understand the word, and maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. Either way, it's okay. I guess at the pronunciation of your names, many students' names, all the time. I guess, and oftentimes, I say the names incorrectly. I pronounce the names wrong, and you guys correct me, and I'm grateful for it. I feel silly when I say students' names incorrectly, but I think it's important to try. So, Sarbajit says, if you run out of time in an exam, it's the same as suicide. It equals suicide. Yes, because you know how much time you have in the exam. I have never taken an exam in college and university and not known exactly how much time I have. That's never happened. I've never had a teacher say, go ahead and start the exam. I'm going to stop it whenever I feel like it. That's never happened to me, and I can't imagine a situation where a teacher would do that. They will usually say you have 1 hour, or you have the class, which you know how long your classes are, or you can ask a question. You can say, when is the test over? How much time do I have? That's almost always true. So, yeah, it is suicide if you run out of time, because you should be able to budget your time a little bit better. Deduce, infer. Okay. El Salvador Positivo is here. Hi, El Salvador Positivo. I like your name a lot. That's awesome. The meaning of guess is like deduce or infer. Yes, it's similar. Navat says, ascertain the meaning of unfamiliar words by context. Good language, good vocabulary. I like the word ascertain. I like the word context. Context is very important. Yes, we use context in the reading. So the next class, we're going to look at this reading. You will all have the chance, premium subscribers, you'll have the chance. And if you're not a premium subscriber, you totally should be. Sign up. Here's the page where you can do it. I forgot to post this in the beginning, but it has lists of all of our classes. You get a month free. So if it's your first class, sign up today and you can get the homework tonight and participate next week as a premium subscriber. It's awesome. And if you need to ask questions, email Zach at smartenglish.com. He's awesome and he will set you up. He'll hook you up. He's a great guy. Okay, so, and there's all the teachers, the lovely Miss Abby, the wonderful Mr. Sean, Mr. Neil, and this dorky guy. So, sign up, check it out, become a premium subscriber. But the homework, this reading sleep cycles, our premium subscribers, you'll have the chance to read it. But then what we're going to do next class, next week, is we're going to look at this very closely. We're going to read it together and try to use some of these strategies. Try to make guesses at the vocabulary words that we don't know. But yes, make a guess. Okay. And how much is it to be a subscriber? So it's free for the first month, and then you can pay to subscribe later on. It's pretty inexpensive though. All the prices are on our Smart Life page right here. Let me just tell you, because that is easier. So 1 month free trial, and then $35 a month Canadian dollars after that. So sweet deal. That's a good deal. So go ahead and sign up. You can sign up by emailing Zach. All right. So we're going to look at those together, but you have the opportunity as a premium subscriber to read that, and that's your homework. There is a document too with comprehension questions that I would like you guys to do. There's exercises here. I'll give you a little preview. So we have our academic vocabulary list, which you are going to separate into words you don't know. You see it and have a basic idea. You sometimes use it, or you can use it all the time and you know the word 100%. So you'll take these words and you will put them in these lists. And then you'll choose between 2 reading vocabulary words that highlight, and you'll highlight the correct one to complete each sentence. So that's a little bit of vocab and comprehension, reusing some of the words. And then there's pre-reading questions you can do. So you can think about these before you even begin the reading. And then there are reading questions. So all the premium subscribers will have access to this, and I'd like you to complete it before class next week. But back to the reading and back to our strategies. So remember to guess, and don't be afraid to guess. Like you should guess when you can. Let's see here. I also wanted to go over overall reading strategies as well. So you can think about these as you read. And again, this is from our TOEFL class, so it's talking about test-taking reading strategies, but it applies to academic writing as well, or academic reading as well. Skim the passage to find the main idea and the organization of the passage. This is what I was talking about when I was talking about how to read quickly and efficiently. So that is a strategy that fits in there. Understand how to read quickly and efficiently. Here's an example of how to do that. Skim the passage to find the main idea. Skim is to move quickly, to seek out information that you're looking for, okay? Sarbajit cannot access the page. I will help you right after class, Sarbajit, okay? Josh, can you help me in a descriptive paper? I have an exam, and if you correct my mistakes, it'll help me because my writing skills are not good. Is it possible? Kavita, yes, I can help you improve your writing. I can't help you on your writing that is for your exam, like I can't help you during your exam or anything, but I can help prepare you so that you will be better on your own for your exam, yes. Just send an email to Zach and sign up as a premium subscriber, and I do that all the time. I help premium subscribers practice for specific presentations, or I will help guide and research for specific topics, give my thoughts, much like you would have office hours with your professor. Not everybody can do that. Some people are at schools, colleges where there are 400 students for one professor, which is crazy. So they don't get an opportunity to have office hours. So I sort of provide that for students. So yes, just email Zach, ask them you want to sign up to do that, and I will help you. Sure. Other questions. Rosa says, and ask Rosa about it too. I've tried to kind of help Rosa as she's going through her master's program, PhD. Rosa's a very intelligent student who's doing many great things. So proud of you, Rosa. Proud of all of you. Speaking of, Rosa's question is, do you know any English idioms where Spanish words are included? Let's talk about that this week sometime, Rosa. Let's schedule a time. We can either Skype or we can just talk in email, and I'll think on that because I want to give you a few examples. All right. It's okay that it's not related to class. You guys are premium subscribers, so you get to kind of guide the class too if you have ideas for things you want to learn, which is another good point. Before class is over today, this is the first of two academic reading classes where we're talking about reading strategy and skills, but then we have open area for new topics. So I want your ideas. What do you want to learn about? Explore the Smrt lessons here for our English 140 class. So if you're a premium subscriber and you have access to this, just go ahead and go through and look at these different lessons and choose one or two that you think you want to learn, that you want to study in more detail. Or if you have a different idea, something that's not listed here. If you want English for science class, English for mathematics, English for engineering, English for any specific topic that you want additional help in, send me your thoughts. And if we get enough responses for one idea or topic, we'll create it. We'll do that for you. So send me your ideas. My email is joshua.live@smartenglish.com, and I want to hear your ideas, and I'll type that in these notes as well. So, joshua.live@smartenglish.com. Okay, so please go ahead and send me an email with your ideas. All right, so pace yourself over all the questions. So, oh, that's the wrong document. Preview the questions being asked. So read them ahead of time if you get a chance, and then read in more detail the parts of the passage where the answer may be. That's the last bit of advice for our second point of understand how to read quickly and efficiently. Quickly is this first part, skimming the passage. So that is when we're talking about quickly. We skim the passage to find the information. Efficiently. So efficiently is a little bit different. When we're reading something efficiently, what we want to do is we want to, going back to just copy this, we want to read in more detail the parts of the passage where the answer may be. What that does is that gives us the finite details of the information we're seeking. So we'll skim, we'll find topics that are of importance to us, and then we'll read in more detail those topics. So you may not read every word of an entire essay or book, but you will read the chapter titles. I think of like a biology class. In a biology class in university or college, you might read the whole book, it's possible, but if you have lots of classes, if you're taking 21 credits, you're not going to read that whole book. But you're going to study different topics of biology. You're not going to learn all of biology in one semester or one quarter at university. That's impossible. There's not enough time. You're going to learn about mitosis. You're going to learn about DNA sequencing. You're going to learn about different topics, the mitochondria. But you're going to learn about them in segments, in sections. So you don't want to waste all your time reading about photosynthesis if your topic is different. So skim for the topic that is important to you, and then read in detail. Then read every word, look up words, look up definitions later on, but not as you read. Read through and make guesses to the meaning of words, and make a list of new words for you. So try to apply some of these skills to our assignment. Review our notes, and then tackle this. Talk about this reading, sleep cycles. And then if you get an opportunity, ask me questions throughout the week. Complete the exercise if you're a premium subscriber, and share that with me before the end of the week. But also ask me questions. Here's our vocab list. We have about 5 minutes left. I'd like you guys just to take a look at some of these words and ask me questions about the meaning. I'll try to talk about this vocabulary, and then we'll review it a little bit more next week, and we'll go over the reading together. Okay, so we'll start out a little bit with some vocab, answering your questions, reviewing homework if possible, and then we'll go into the reading together. We'll apply our strategies. We'll look at some of the questions before we begin the reading, and then take it on as a team. So, okay. Great questions. Just reading here a little bit. French Leo. I know you know so many languages, but English only in the chat, please. Voice chat to learn pronunciation. That is a good point. If you have access to the curricula, there's listenings that have effective presentation or pronunciation, sorry. So you can check that out. 40% academic words, 60% slang. Is that a bad sign, Sarbajit? Good question. Depends on the context. If you're using 60% slang in your essays, yes, that's a bad sign. If you're using 60% slang in life, that's totally okay. Not a problem. When you talk with your friends and family, when we talk in this class, when we have dialogues, when I speak, I use probably 60% slang to talk to you guys, my students. But when I'm talking about how I would word a sentence or how I would speak in a presentation, I'm a little bit more academic because that is the context, right? If you ask a question, I can say, yeah, what's up? How's your day? How's it going? What you up to? That's slang language, shortening of words, slang speech. But if I'm giving an example of how you would present, I would say, hello everyone, it's great to be here today, and I'm excited to talk to you about this new topic. It's a terrible hook. Don't bring in your presentations like that. But depends on the context. So you're doing fine, Sarbajit. You're doing fine. JB says, I'm horrible at defining words. Try. JB, try, please. In writing, you don't use slang or contractions. Yes, JB's right. In academic writing, we do not use slang or contractions. I'm not sure English contains lots of Spanish words. Yes and no. I'll talk to you guys both about that later on. All right. I read books that have 50 chapters, 565 pages. I can read the whole book in 2 hours. Awesome. That is very good. It's good reading speed. In English or in another language? Kavita hates all science. No! Science is so important. Such an important field. Don't hate science. Try to love it. Learn more about it and see how you feel then. I think that you will like science. There's branches of science you can fall in love with, I promise you. Question off topic. Paluxio asks, yellow belly is a slang word for coward. How often do you use it in everyday speech? I don't use it in everyday speech very often. It's kind of an older term for Western United States culture. Yellow belly is a term that I usually think of like cowboys, like in movies and cartoons. When I think of the word yellow belly, I'll show you. I think of like a cartoon cowboy like this, like yellow belly, like Yosemite Sam or something. I wouldn't say it's very common. I would say there's a lot. I'd say the most common way to call someone a coward is to call them a chicken. We call people chickens that are cowards in American English. I think that's true in lots of languages, but yellow belly is more Western American culture. So hopefully that answers your question. Is reveal a synonym to show and indicate? Yes, Rosa, to reveal. Reveal is something that is hidden. Whenever I think of reveal, I think of he revealed his face. Like it's there, it's present, but it's hidden, right? And then reveal your face. Or reveal information, like in movies that have scenes in the courtroom, somebody reveals information, right? It's like, oh, this is new information. It was there the whole time, but they have shown it for the first time. Responsive, is it related to responsibility? Responsive is someone showing response to stimuli. So if you poke your sibling and they're asleep and you go, and they don't move, they're not responsive. If they go, leave me alone, that's responsive. If I ask you a question and you respond, that's being responsive. If you just ignore me, that's not being responsive. I love biology, I love physics. Good, lots of people love science. Didn't mean to call you out, Kavita. Just I think you will find a branch of science that you will love eventually. Just keep trying, okay? Okay. Can you make the class for interview? That's a good suggestion, Magola? Can you please email me that? That's a great question. I want to remember it. Please email me your suggestions. Josh, usually people say face reveal. Yeah, on the internet. Sometimes they're bloggers or writers or different chat forums like iFunny, or there's lots of different platforms for it, but when someone shows their identity, face reveal. Yeah, sure. Okay. What means occur? Okay, Magola, first of all, I just want to talk about your question, the way you ask for the meaning of a word. I think this is really important for students to know. We don't want to say what means occur. We want to say what does occur mean? Okay, what does occur mean? So to ask what a word means, we don't want to say what means occur. We want to say what does occur mean. So the formula is what does blank mean? Put in the word you want. What does blank mean? Or what is the meaning of blank? Okay. Those are two different ways to ask for the meaning of a word. Okay? Let's see. Hopefully that helps a little bit too. All right, we have to get going. That's the end of class, but to reiterate, to remind you, please send me ideas for new classes. Our next class, next week, which you guys already know because you're in this class, but it is Thursdays at 15:30 GMT, and you can become a premium subscriber for free for a month to check it out, see if you like it. But Thursdays at 15:30 GMT. So show up next week, and we will go over our second in the series of academic reading. We'll teach more strategies. We will look at this actual reading. And sorry, I didn't answer your question after talking about how to ask the question. What is the meaning of occur? Occur is a word that means to happen. So when something occurs, something happens. So what does occur mean? Occur means to happen. Okay? It means to happen. So an event, something happens. So the next class will occur at 15:30 GMT next Thursday. Thank you guys for your questions. You're wonderful, amazing, brilliant, smart students. I am lucky to be your teacher. So please show up next week. We will have another awesome class together, and you will be better readers after class. So have a wonderful day, evening, night. Have a good day at work or school or hanging out with your family or friends or whatever you choose to do. I hope you have a wonderful day, weekend, and start of next week. I'll see you guys next Thursday, 15:30 GMT. And here is a short and amazing message from Sean.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want the full experience of being a student in a Smrt Live class with things like homework and teacher feedback, follow the link and become a premium subscriber. Also, if you want to see more videos from this class, check out our playlist.